The way the markets have swung in the past week, the word roller coaster barely scratches the surface to describe the turmoil. Here on our campus, the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga, students manage the Smile Fund, an investment account that over the years has grown from $250,000 to $3 million. A few weeks ago, before the recent market turbulence, I spoke with Dr. Hunter Holzhauer, director of the Smile Fund and a professor of finance at the Gary W. Rollins College of Business here at UTC, and Hunter Carroll, program manager for the Smile Fund. Hunter, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Welcome. Yeah, I appreciate being here.
Hunter Holzhauer, tell us how the Smile Fund was created.
Back in 2014, I was approached by my department chair to ask if I was interested in doing a student managed fund. And I told her I'd already created one at Penn State. And I said, if I was going to do it, I wanted to do it in a different way, a way never been done before at any university. And I wanted to run it strictly as a business outside of a classroom. And so we talked about it a little bit. And she said if I could get the UC Foundation to give me the money, that she'd give me her blessing. And went to the UC Foundation, made my pitch, and they gave me $250,000, and we were off and running.
And all these years later, how has the fund done?
Fund has grown a lot, both internally and with added assets under management. So we are now probably around one of the top 30 biggest student managed funds in terms of assets under management. We have about $3.5 million in the Smile Fund, and we have a little over probably $500,000 in two other funds that we manage for the university. So all in all, a little bit over $4 million there. But the Smile Fund has beat the market more years than not, overall beat the market. And so for a bunch of undergraduate students, that's pretty special. But what's even more important is when Hunter, who's with me today, the other Hunter, who you'll introduce in a minute, he was the first freshman in the fund. And so one of the things that makes us different than the other universities is these are usually run by seniors or graduate students, but we take freshmen and we train them from sometimes the day they step on campus, and get them involved. And that's really made all the difference in the world, because they get 3 or 4 years worth of experience before they graduate. And we now manage somewhere around 130 to 140 students, which means we are most likely, and it's hard to verify, but I think we are by a long shot the biggest student managed fund in the world in terms of manpower, in terms of the number of students involved in the organization.
And Hunter Carroll, tell us more about your story.
I came here fall of 2014, and actually the same time that the other Hunter came here. I was interested in investments. I was a part of at the time it was called the Business LLC, which is now turned into the Rollins Scholars. And Jacqueline York came to me and said, "Hey, Hunter, I know you're interested in investments. We're starting this new thing called the Smile Fund. I think you should apply." So I put in my application just to see kind of what happened. I knew it was I was a little bit of a disadvantage. I'd never taken finance courses before, and went in and interviewed. One thing led to another, came in as a lead analyst to the IT sector, and became a VP the next year, and then ended up being president my senior year before leaving. And yeah, one thing led to another, and came back here to be the program manager when they needed to fill that position in August.
And what does that position do?
It's a lot of different things. So the easiest way to think about it is I handle a lot of the day-to-day operations of the fund. So I help out students with analysis, thinking through different investment topics, the themes, figuring out, does this just make sense from a story standpoint, but also the numbers. Also handle things like emails to the fund members, letting them know when our next meetings are, when our next socials are, and overall just keeping a feel for the fund, trying to keep it fun for the students, because it is a learning process, but also we want them to have fun. Yeah, it's a lot of different things.
What's different now compared to a decade ago?
Wow, that is a loaded question. So when we came in, we had 12 students, and we were trying to figure out what we could do and what we couldn't do. Luckily, the UC Foundation and the Rollins College of Business has pretty much given me not only a green light to do everything I've wanted to do, but given me a lot of help along the way. For example, we now have a training class, Finance 3700 Introduction to Financial Analysis. It allows students to take a finance class even in their freshman year if they get selected into the Smile Fund. That's probably not available on almost any campus or university around the world. Usually you have to take a whole lot of prereqs before you can get to a finance class, and you probably won't take a finance class, even if you're a finance major, till your junior or senior year. So this really boosted everything. And then also, of course, we've grown to where we have a Canvas page with hundreds of resources on it. We have templates, we have example reports, we have teams that have competed in the CFA research research challenge, which to me is the Nerd Olympics for what we do. It's probably actually the nerdiest, coolest, most competitive competition in all of business at the undergrad level and graduate level too. And we've won the state version of that now 9 years in a row. I don't think there's another university that can make that claim.
And how does participating in the fund help students land a job after UTC?
There are many opportunities for networking, both social and professionally. Every quarter, we host what we call an investment strategy meeting, or we call them ISMs. And this is when we present research and how the fund's doing to not only the fund as a whole, but also our professional advisory board. We have anywhere from, I would say, 10 to 15 professionals in the audience there that get to see research. This obviously lets them see students in that regard to see what kind of research they're capable of. We've had a lot of internships through that. Also, we have fun networking socials as well. We go eat and we go have different activities where professionals are also at, and gives time to have more, I guess, normal conversations that aren't so business centric, and lets professionals see what our students are like both in and outside of the classroom, which has led to many job opportunities while in college, and obviously internships do a good job. They usually lead to something full-time after undergrad.
Yeah, we do so much. Our calendar looks so incredibly messy at the beginning of the semester. It's like just this week alone, we'll have a meeting, and then right after that meeting on Wednesday, we'll go bowling and play laser tag. And and then next week, we're taking over 20 students to the GAME Forum, the Global Asset Management Education Forum in New York. Most schools only take a handful of students, but we have so many students that want to go, we have to turn them all down. And we take our best, usually our officers and our chief analysts, the folks that are doing the most in the fund, and they get to go there and hear from some of the top minds in investments, get to see the stock exchange, get to see Bloomberg, get to see the Fed, get to do a lot of neat things. And we do something like that every semester. We'll take them to Chicago. We have a lot of stuff that we put together, and it took years to build this, right? And then it took years to get the fund to a point where now we can even have an asset management fee that allows us to be a little bit more sustainable at an operations level. And it's one of the ways we've been able to afford Hunter and bring him in and have an extra set of 40 hours a week to help run the fund. He does a lot. And what he said is exactly true. He does a lot internally for the fund. I'm doing more of the external stuff right now, but there are days where we're in the lab until morning hours, and I'm getting a little old for that, so I'm hoping that Hunter will help me out more there, but this is probably 20 hours a week for me and probably 40 hours a week for Hunter.
And for people who want to learn more about the Smile Fund here at UTC, where can they go online?
You can find the Smile Fund page on UTC's website. It has some basic information there, kind of our organizational chart. It also has a button that you click on to apply. We usually run application season is around into September through October, and interviews are in November. So there's some basic information there. Or you could reach out to me or the other Hunter. My email is hunter-carroll@utc.edu. More than happy to answer any questions.
And my email is hunter-Holzhauer. You might have to look that one up at utc.edu. But I would say if you're interested, we'll set up a meeting with you right away and let you know what you can be doing until we can get you involved in the fund. We do take folks through the spring as well. Our main recruiting time is in the fall, but we do like to get people started right away. And one of the reasons for this is the sooner we can get you involved in the fund, the sooner you could leverage it to go out and get the career that you want and have that kind of meaningful experience that you're looking for. And we take all majors. This is not a finance situation. We have a lot of finance majors in the fund, but we have accounting majors, we have data analytics majors, we have obviously economics majors, we have management majors. We also have folks outside of the Rollins College of Business, computer science, engineering. We reach across campus, and I think the diversity of thought there is a big deal. We'll even get some folks from health and sciences that'll come in and be on our healthcare team. We teach valuation. I think it's something that everybody should learn about, especially business majors. Learning by doing works. That's why our students go off in the Smile Fund and get higher paying starting salaries and definitely have a much better career path, in my opinion.
All right. And the UTC website, utc.edu. Hunter, thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.